Hello, my wonderful art students. Today, you guys are going to learn how to do a 3D candy cane. My fourth and fifth grader, well, specifically my fifth graders, you guys just finished an optical illusion drawing not too long ago, where we worked on colored pencils. And remember, the colored pencils, the harder you press with a colored pencil, the darker the color is. And to make something look 3D, we wanted it to look round, right, in our optical illusion. So along the edges, we pressed harder with our colored pencil. And as we came to the middle of each section, we would press lighter. So therefore, the color would be lighter. And then at the other edge, again, we would press harder, okay? So now we're going to take what we learned during that and do that during the candy cane. My fourth graders didn't do the optical illusion, but I know that they can do this candy cane. So this will be good. This is called, we're talking about different values. So values are the difference between super light and super dark and all of the values in between. So we've got our highlights and our shadows, and we're going to try and do that with just using some colored pencils. Okay, so things look three-dimensional. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick out two colors. I have a bunch of colored pencils, so I had these two colors that I thought were super pretty, but you guys can pick out your own colors. You see in my original one, I did like a pretty blue and then like a lime green, okay? I'll come back to this in a little bit. We need a regular pencil. And to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to just do an upside down letter J. That is going to be the start of our candy cane. Now, what I want you to do on each end, so this end right here, we're going to do an ellipse or an oval. So we're going to do that there. And then we're also going to do an ellipse or oval on the bottom on this side. Now you want to notice when you do this, this ellipse points this way towards this edge of the paper on the right side, and this ellipse points this way towards the left side of the paper, okay? Now what we're going to do is we are going to connect the left side of this ellipse to the right side of the other ellipse or oval. See, and we're still using that J shape for the candy cane. And you can kind of sharpen up your lines in a little while, okay? So now, this little oval ellipse makes it look like the bottom of the candy cane. So now what we're gonna do, we want to keep it looking three-dimensional. So when we do our stripes, we want to do our stripes curved upwards like this. It's kind of like that optical illusion that we did with the fifth grade, okay? So I'm gonna do a stripe here. You could do all kinds of stripes. You don't have to do tons of stripes if you don't want to. I'm gonna do another one here. And see how we're pointing those curves upward towards the top of the paper. See how the curve goes upwards? It will change a little bit when we get to the top of the candy cane. So I'm almost to the top of the candy cane, so I'm going to take a break for a second and do one on this side of the candy cane. Now as we get to this area, see the candy cane has turned, right? So it's going to end up angling a little bit as we go around the curve, and see it angles a little bit different. Okay, so you can already kind of see how the candy cane looks round, but the way to make it look even rounder is by using our colored pencil pressure. So remember, I talked about it earlier. The harder you press with the colored pencil, the darker the value is going to be. And we want the darkest values to be along the edges of the candy cane. and the lightest values to be in the center of the candy cane. Let's look at this again before we start. Darkest around the edges and lightest around the middle of the candy cane. So I'm going to start here towards the bottom. I'm going to press really hard with my candy cane, and I'm going to do up and down coloring in this section. Press really hard. But as I get a little bit farther towards the middle of the candy cane, I'm not pressing as hard. So see how it's naturally looking a little bit lighter. And then as I go back down towards the other edge, I'm starting to press a little bit harder until it's really dark. And you can go back in and kind of fill in lightly the edges that you missed. Okay, let's try and zoom in a little bit so you can see that. I'll do the next one zoomed in like that. That way you can see me color a little bit more. So I'm going to do this section the same way right here. So on the edge, I'm pressing really hard to color. As I get towards the middle, I'm not pressing as hard. See how it gets lighter? Then I'm going to gradually start pressing harder again. So the time I get to this section, it's really dark. Now what you want to do is you want to do that in each big section. So it's going to take a little bit, all right? Then what you're going to do, in the little tiny stripes, you're going to pick out your other color. You're going to do the same exact thing in those little stripes, except it's with a different color. So I'm going to do these right here. I'm going to press really hard right here. Press a little bit lighter, and then darker again. Probably should have picked out a different color. These two colors are kind of similar, so you can't see the colors as much, but it's all right. It's the only ones I brought out here, so it's okay. So I'll do this one the same way, pressing really hard against the edge, get lighter in the middle, and then darker again. Zoom in a little bit, see if you can see it. You can kind of see it when I zoom in a little bit better. Okay, so now you're going to do that in each section of your candy cane. So your bigger section will be the one color. So mine is this color in the big section, and then the little section is the other color. Remember, always pressing harder against the edges of your candy cane, and when you get to the middle, you don't press as hard. So when you get it all done, it will look, let me zoom back out a little bit. There we go. It will look three-dimensional. So it looks like it's round. It looks like you could reach out and pick up your candy cane and eat it, right? So you could do a bunch of these different candy canes in different colors and then carefully cut them out and glue them on top of one another on a different piece of paper. But not everyone has different colored paper at home, so that's okay. You don't have to do that. But I would love to see all of your candy canes. And remember, I really want you to practice those values. So lighter values, you press lighter with your pencil so it'll look really light. And darker values, you're gonna press really hard with your pencil so it looks like shadows, okay? And then put them on the Google Classroom when you are all done. Good luck and have fun!